would be good to you, and I share that with you all the time. I want to thank all those that's been tuning in. We had such a wonderful day on Sunday, such a magnanimous move of God. And I thank you all so much for all of your calls, all your emails, all your texts. All your words have been so kind and they have been so encouraging. And so I thank you so much for just staying connected and for sharing. Our numbers have been growing in leaps and bounds by the time we put all the different avenues together by which people can watch. We added everything up about a week ago, and I think we had over 4,000 views. And so we're grateful. We're hitting different countries and things of such. And so these things can't be without you. And so we want to ask you for your continued support, for the continuation of your prayers. Get the word out and share. So right now, wherever you are and whatever you're doing in your homes, if you could just pause for just a moment, and we'll give you just quick inspiration and hope that it'll help you hold on and help you want to run on, see what the end gonna be. Amen. Amen. I thought about this. I thought about this for just a second. I thought about the fact that in times like this, how important it is for us to stay planted. How important it is for us to stay to hold our position, and how important it is for us to proclaim, for us to declare that we shall not be moved. So many people have reached out to me, Bishop, how is it that you seem to have been able to keep a peace that surpasses all understanding in this hour? How is it that it appears that you're not worried or you don't look weary? And how is it that you're able to go up to the church every week and preach like this 3, 4, 5,000 people and not stutter and not stumble? Listen, the anointing grants you a peace. And when you trust God, even when you can't trace him, when you unite with him, even if you don't understand him, you just have to worship when everybody else is worrying. And you have to be in prayer mood when everybody else is in panic mood. It's not about who I am. It's about whom I am. It's about who I belong to. And I'm trusting in God. And as I go to the window of memory and pull up the blinds of retrospect, I can say with a scriptural reference that I once was young, now I'm getting old. But I've never seen the righteous forsaken or the seed begging bread. So there's no reason for me to doubt God. There's no reason for me to doubt that God's going to turn it around. There's no reason for me to doubt that God is going to intervene. And I trust the will of God. And you have to be totally sold out to him to be able to say this. I trust the will of God, whatever that will might be. I trust God when I win. I trust God when I lose. I trust God when I'm up. I trust him when I'm down. I've learned to trust in God. And what have happened is because I trust in God so much, I'm anchored now. And that reminded me of a scriptural reference and a message I did a long time ago out of the book of Psalms. It reminded me of Psalms 1 when it talks about, in Psalms 1 verses 1 through 3, and how it says, blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth in the way of sinners, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful. But his delight is in the law of the Lord, and in his law doth he meditate day and night. Let's do that again. Go to the book of Psalms. Psalms 1, verses 1 through 3. It says, blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth in the way of sinners, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful. It says, but his delight is in the law of the Lord, and in his law doth he meditate, it says, day and night. And then it goes on to say, and he shall be like a tree that's been planted down by the rivers of the water, that bringeth forth his fruit in his season. His leaf shall not wither, and whatsoever he doeth shall prosper. Okay, so I want everybody to just say this to yourself. Just say, I shall not be moved. Come on, say it with me. I shall not be moved. I shall not be moved. Now just say, I'm planted. I'm planted. I don't care what happens. I don't care what goes on. I don't care what the breaking news is. I don't care what comes out of the White House. I don't care what comes out of the governor's office. I don't care what's being discussed in the mayor's office. I want you to focus in, block everything else out, and just say, I'm planted now. I'm planted. I'm just like the tree down by the river, okay? And I'm declaring, I shall not be moved. You got it? All right, come on. Let's get this drive-through message in for you right quick. So here we are in the longest book of the Bible, but I promise I won't be long. In the longest book of the Bible, which is the book of Psalms, right? So we know that Psalms has 150 chapters. We know it has 2,461 verses. We know that the habitation of the book of Psalms is that it carries 43,743 words, all right? Here we are at the foundations of Psalm. Here we are at the very first chapter, in the very first book. We know that the book of Psalm is carries the hymnals of prayer, of praise, of distress, of history, of prophecy, of trust. We know that it deals with the promises, the hope, the instructions, the confessions, the judgment, the testimonies, the deliverance, all of these things, all right? Right here in verse number 1, what does it say? It says, blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly. Watch this. Nor standeth in the way of the sinners, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful. Now, when it says, blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, I'm going to cut mine different. I'm going to begin my speculation or should I say my exegetical journey in a different place. I'm going to give you 3 dynamics. I'm going to give you the status, I'm going to give you the state of the believer, all right? And then I'm going to give you the strength of the believer. I might even give you some simulations or the similarity as it relates to the believer. And then we'll close on the success of the believer. And we'll do all of this within 20 minutes. Okay, here we go. All right, so the first thing I want to do is I want to give you what I call the state of the believer. Okay, so what is his state? What should your state be right now? What should be your state of mind right now? What should be the state of your aura, your spirit right now in the midst of this pandemic? Here it is. Blessed is the man. Stop. Your state right now, okay, when you think about the state of the believer, this should be your status. Okay, here's your status, all right? Subpoint A. State is the point. Subpoint A is the subpoint. Here it is. Here's your status. My status is I'm blessed. Make a note of that. Plain and simple. Blessed is the man, all right? So now listen. When the Bible uses the word blessed, in Hebrew that word blessed comes from the word asher. Asher. So it means happy is the man. It means with joy is the man. Okay? The text has been tailored to teach us that when you look at my status, that even in the darkest of an hour, in the most painful nights, in the most horrific days, this world can't take my joy because the world didn't give me my joy. Okay, joyful is the man. The world didn't give me my joy. All right, so yes, I have joy. There are almost 20,000 cases of COVID. There are almost 1,000 people that have died right here in the state of Georgia. And out of these 10 million people that are here, let me raise my hand and tell you, I still got joy. I got joy when I look back and see what God has brought me. I got joy when I look around and see what God is doing. I got joy when I think about my expectation of what my tomorrow holds. I've got joy. I've got the kind of joy that allows me to sing at midnight. I've got the kind of joy that allows me to hold on when others are turning loose. I've got joy, and the world didn't give it to me, so the world can't take it away. It's my joy. And so I wake up happy. I lay down happy because of my relationship with Jesus. That's my joy. That's my happiness. I have a peace that surpasses all understanding because my trust level is that no matter what comes or come what may, God got me. I know, one, that I'm in his hand. I know, two, nobody can pluck me out of his hand. So whatever happens to me, God has to allow it. Now watch this. You got to really grow up in God to be able to say, Lord, teach me how to handle what you allow. Because sometimes God will allow pain to come. Sometimes God would allow, I sing a lot. And there's times I'll say, I got a line in a song that I'll say, I asked God for sunshine, walked outside and he gave me rain. Okay? And that happens sometimes. Sometimes you want the sunshine and God gives you rain. Sometimes you want the victory and God allows you to lose. Sometimes you want to be surrounded by friends and you find yourself confronted by enemies. But understand this to be true. The world didn't give you that joy, so the world can't take it away. If you trust that God is God, if you trust in the sovereign will of God, the supremacy of God, okay? If you trust in Jehovah Jireh, that he can provide, if that's your trust, then you ought to be happy right now. And you ought to be able to say you're blessed. Now, let me clear up something that preachers get wrong all over the country. So here it is. I'm not calling them names. I'm not throwing no shade. But I want to make sure y'all get an understanding of this. Every time we talk about, every time we expound, every time we speculate, every time we express, every time we conversate, okay, this terminology, this tilius, this title, this expression, blessed. We always begin blessed and end blessed with possessions. That's my car, I'm blessed. That's my house, I'm blessed. This is my check, I'm blessed. These are my things, I'm blessed. That's my stuff, I'm blessed. My sisters and brothers, lean in, lean in, lean in. Let me tell you something. Being blessed is not about your possession. Being blessed is about your position. Okay, all right. Let me say it again. Being blessed is not about, it's not just about one's possession. It's about one's position. Okay, think about it. Think about it. Let me say it again. Being blessed is not just about one's possessions. It's about one's position. Listen, I'll be 57 years old this week, okay? Thank the Lord. Happy birthday to me. Listen, in my 57 years of living, when I look back over my life, and I remember growing up in grandmama's house, grandmama didn't have a washer and a dryer, okay? But she was blessed. I mean, grandmama didn't have a 3-level, 4-level, split-level home, but she was blessed. Grandmama didn't have a 3-car, 4-car garage, but she was blessed. Grandmama didn't know nothing about no formal dining room and family room. I mean, grandmama didn't have no home theater or no. Come on, y'all. I mean, there was no flat screens. No. I mean, grandmama didn't drive no 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, $100,000 car, but she was blessed. It was food on the table. She had a roof over her head, clothes back. But it was her relationship with God. That's what made her blessed. It was her position. I've been places my mom never went. I've had things my mom never had. Okay? I probably made more money in a couple of years my mom may have made in a lifetime. Listen, that ain't got nothing to do with it. It's your position. It's when it is this reciprocal relationship. It is when you got God and God got you. Can I get a witness here? So stop allowing people to make you feel that you're not blessed because their house is bigger than yours, their car is newer than yours, their check is larger than yours. Because there's a whole lot of people living in a big house with fine cars with a whole lot of money that's miserable as hell right now. You know why? Because they don't have a peace that surpasses all understanding. They don't have a prayer life. They don't have a worship. They don't have a praise God. They don't know how to walk with him. They don't know how to talk to him. You see what I'm saying? You got people right now having nervous breakdowns, contemplating suicide, because they don't have a relationship. When you got a relationship with God, when you got a relationship with God, you may not always know what tomorrow going to bring, but that ain't the deal. The deal is not that I got to know what tomorrow going to bring. The deal is that I know who's going to bring tomorrow. Can I get a witness here? That ain't got nothing to do with my possessions. If I get sick tonight and I end up in ICU and I'm on a ventilator, listen to me now. Hear me, lean in. Listen. I'm not going to, listen, while I'm in that hospital room, I'm not thinking about one car I own. I'm not thinking about the square footage of this home. I'm not thinking about money in the bank. I'm not thinking about clothes in the closet. I'm not thinking about watches, rings, jewelry, nothing. My mind is going to be on my relationship with God. You got it? It's going to be on the fact that I know I made my reservation a long time ago, the old folks say, and I fixed it with Jesus a long time ago, so now I ain't worrying about my soul. You got it? So look, so stop allowing people to make you feel that the only way you get categorized or classified as being blessed is that you got to have a whole lot of stuff. Matter of fact, I was coming out of my study Bible and made some notes, put stuff on the side. And I want to share this with you because somebody might say, no, you got to be prosperous to be blessed. Well, okay. Psalms 1:1 just says, blessed is the man that walk not in the counsel of ungodly. They ain't got nothing to do with money. They have nothing to do with possession. All right, watch this. If you go to Psalms 2:12, it says, blessed is the man that put their trust in God. They ain't got nothing to do with money. If you go to Psalms 32:1, it says, blessed is the man whose sins have been forgiven. I feel like I'm a Pentecostal preacher right now. Come on with the word. Watch this. If you go to Psalms 41:1, it says, blessed is the man who helps the poor. Watch this. If you go to Psalm 65:4, it says, blessed is the man who has a fellowship with God. Okay. The man that called God, that God called him back. Okay. The person that can talk about Jesus and get excited. Okay. You all see when you watch me on Sunday, or if you watch me long enough here, if I talk about him too long, how I tear up, that's my relationship with God. That's a fellowship. I'm blessed because of the fellowship. Okay, wait a minute. All right, somebody don't believe me. If you go to Psalms 84:4, you know what it says? Blessed is the man that lives in God's house. If you go to Psalms 84:5, you know what it says? Blessed is the man who draws his strength from God. If you go to Psalms 89:15, y'all ready for this? I'm getting excited in my office down here. I'm gonna make these eagles fly in a second. Watch this. It says in Psalms 89:15, it says, blessed is the man that knows how to worship. I almost spoke in tongues and jumped up. Blessed is the man that knows how to worship. All right? Psalms 94:12, you know what it says? Blessed are they who get chastened by God. Ooh, y'all ain't ready for me. Lean in, lean in. Blessed are they who God knows love him, who fall sometime, make mistakes sometime, and God has to pop sometime to get you back in place. Come on now. Come on now. Even when I get chastened by God, it proves I've been blessed by God. Okay? Because God has invested too much in me to leave me or to abandon me. Watch this. Watch this. Psalms 112 and verse 1. You don't believe what it says. Blessed is the man who just fear God. Okay? Psalms 119:1 says, blessed are they that live undefiled. Psalm 119:2 said, blessed are they that obeys God's word. Okay, Proverbs 8 said, blessed are they who walk in wisdom. Also 8:34 said, blessed are they who hear wisdom. Now watch this. Watch this. Psalms 30:18. It says, blessed are they who learn how to wait on God. They ain't got nothing to do with my stuff. No, blessed are they who can wait on God. Blessed are they who can patiently hold on until God show up and God show out. Okay, I took too long on that first point, so I'm going to have to speed through everything else. But evidently the Holy Ghost wanted me to remind you and get you to say you blessed. I don't care if you're on the bus. If you love the Lord, you know the Lord loves you, you better say you blessed. I don't care if you've been eating tuna sandwiches and bologna sandwiches the whole while you've been in the house. I don't care. Listen. I don't care if you drinking tap water because you have no tea, you have no soda. Listen, if you love the Lord and the Lord loves you, here is your status. Here is your state, and here's your status. You are blessed. Got it? Don't let the devil fool you. You are blessed. All right? That's your status. Here's why you're blessed. It's called your standards. I'll do it quickly. Here's why you're blessed. It's your standards. Look what it says. It says, blessed is the man. Now watch this. You can get 3 standards. Walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly. That's 1. Standeth in the way of the sinners. That's 2. Or sitteth in the seat of the scornful. What makes you blessed? Watch this. It's transition. It's because God has judged your walk, your stand, and your set. You're not walking wrong. You're not standing wrong. You're not setting wrong. I'm not making it up. Watch this. When he says, walks not in the counsel of the ungodly, okay? Watch this. He doesn't believe, he doesn't behave, and he doesn't belong. He doesn't believe the ungodly. He doesn't behave like the ungodly because he does not belong to the ungodly. Are you feeling me right through here? All right. So watch this. Three things. One, he does not want the wisdom of the wicked. Hear me now. He doesn't want the wisdom of the wicked. Okay. Number two, he doesn't want to adapt to sinful ways. Okay. He doesn't want to accept the standards of the wicked. All right. He doesn't want to get comfortable in the midst. All right. So I want to give you something here, and you may have never heard a minister say this when it comes to the text. When he says, walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, standeth in the way of sinners, sitteth in the seat of the scornful. When he talks about the ungodly, he's talking about those who the enemy have mastered their minds. When he talks about sinners, he's talking about those who the enemy have mastered their flesh. When he talks about the scoffers, he's talking about those who the enemy have mastered their tongues. Do you have it? It means that the enemy is either using somebody's mind, somebody's flesh, or somebody's mouth. He says, blessed is the man who does not allow the enemy to use his mind, his flesh, or his mouth. Y'all got it? Make a note of that. All right, good. So now watch this. That's the state of the believer. All right? So here's what I call the strength of the believer. Do I have time? Excellent. Here's what I call the strength of the believer. Verse number 2. It says, but his delight is in the law of the Lord, and in his law doth he meditate day and night. Wait a minute. Why is the believer so strong? Why are you so strong right now? Here it is. Here's the secret to your success. Here's the key to your strength. When I was a little boy, I used to watch a cartoon called Popeye. And everybody knows that the narrative of Popeye, that Popeye was just an ordinary, average, normal sailor. But Popeye had one thing that made him better than everybody else. When he would eat that spinach. Can I get a witness? And he would eat that spinach, and he would go from natural to supernatural. Can I get a witness? He would go from natural to supernatural. Well, for the believer, your spinach is in verse number 2. It says, but his delight is in the law of the Lord. In his law doth he meditate day and night. Verse number 2 is to the Christian what spinach was to Popeye. Okay, so y'all slow. Lean in. Let me give you something there. You all remember a story called the story about Batman? Do y'all remember, no, not Batman, Superman. Okay, remember Superman? When we watched that as kids, and Superman, his true identity was called Clark Kent. You remember that? And then he would go into the phone booth, back in the day, and then come out the phone booth and have on his cape. Y'all ain't follow me through here. Listen. In verse 1, I'm Clark Kent. I'm just blessed. I'm blessed because of my position. But in verse 2, that's Superman, babe. That's Superman, bro. That's Superman. Why? Because in verse 2, I'm telling you what shifts me from being natural to supernatural. I'm telling you what allows me to smile at those that don't like me, what allows me to be kind to those that have done me wrong. I'm telling you what allows me to forgive the unforgivable, what allows me to stand when strong winds are blowing, the lightning is flashing, torrential rains are falling, demons are running, when my name is on the wings of the morning. What is it that makes you so strong? Verse number 2. Why? Because verse number 2 says, I delight in the law of the Lord. So what does that mean? 3 things in verse number 2. You ready? Catch this, lean in, catch this. The first thing we realize is that the word has altered his affections. Make a note of that. The word has altered his affections. The word has altered his affections. How do you know? Because verse 2 says something. It says, but his delight. Stop. When it says his delight, the interpretive meaning of that terminology, delight, means his pleasure, his peace, his happiness, his joy. It says his joy is in the word. His pleasure is in the word. His peace is in the word. His power permeates and proliferates from the word. Got it? Wow, watch this. It's altered my affection. In other words, what the text has been taken to teach us, what the author is trying to say is that the believer has done something that the people in the world hadn't done yet. We have fallen in love with the word, and the word has fallen in love with us. Y'all ain't ready for me. I done fell in love. And I tell people all the time, I fell in love with preaching, and preaching fell in love with me. You got to fall in love with this word. Okay? It alters your affection. It lives and breathes on the palate of your spiritual tongue. You desire it in the morning and midnight. It alters your affection. I'm in love with the word. Now watch this. Not only does it alter your affections, but watch this. I'm getting excited. Let me slow down. Not only does it alter your affections, but it can arrest your attention. Okay. Come here. Lean in. What you mean, Bishop? Arrest your attention. Lean in. Don't act slow. The Bible says, I'm not making it up. The Bible said his delight is in the law of the Lord. But it says, in the law does he meditate. Ooh, preach, right? He meditate. It has arrested his attention. It has handcuffed his consciousness. Do you understand what I'm trying to tell y'all out here? It has handcuffed his consciousness, arrested his attention. Okay, all right, okay, all right, okay. If he meditates on the word, that word meditate in Latin, mediton. In Latin, it's pronounced mediton. Mediton means to analyze, to reflect on. God Almighty. He analyzes it. He reflects on it. He spends time with it. Come on, Dre. Come on now. He analyzes it. He reflects on it. He spends time with it. It is the object of his focus. Now, let me show y'all something. We live in a world. Now, see, let me tell you something. I will argue with anybody anywhere. Not argue as an argument, but I can lay out an argument against anybody anywhere. Listen now. I don't care if you're Muslim. I don't care if it's Catholicism, Judaism, whatever your faith is. Okay, I know Christianity, so I'm not new to this. I'm true to this. I know how to make my plea for why I'm a Christian. Now, there's a lot of people in our world that are involved in different religions that require meditation. They sit in a particular posture. They position themselves in a different way, and they chant. Whatever. And it's meditation. And a lot of people don't even know what meditation is. Meditation is just simply this. It is just simply when your conscience blocks out all from your subconscious that you are able to focus on one single narrative, be it a person, place, or thing. That's all it is. It's just blocking out everything else. Okay, I know some of y'all not going to believe this. I'm 57 years old. I used to have a motorcycle. I went through that phase. I wanted a motorcycle. So I had a motorcycle. But now, let me tell you what I remember. I remember when I got my motorcycle license. And there's anybody out there that has a bike, you know where I'm going. When I got my motorcycle license, up on Thorn Road here in Atlanta, Georgia. And I got my motorcycle license up at the Harley lot. And there's one thing that I remember about that test that stayed with me as long as I live. Is the day the instructor taught us about tunnel vision. Now, listen, lean in, listen. I had a Harley, but in order to get your motorcycle license, in case y'all don't know, you can't get a motorcycle license on what is called a road bike. You gotta get your license on what is called a street bike. So when you get your license on the street bike, there's one thing that they teach you so that you don't freak out when it happens. They teach you that if you have the audacity and the nerve to go to 5th gear or 6th gear, all right? They teach you that at a certain speed, that something will transition, and it's called tunnel vision. And tunnel vision is when you're going so fast that you don't see this on this side, you don't see that on that side. All you see is this right here. Now, a lot of people that can ride in first gear and second gear and third gear, and a lot of people can ride in fourth gear, but you got to show enough know how to ride. I'm about to make these eagles fly. Listen, you got to show enough know how to ride to get to fifth gear. Because to get to fifth gear, you got to understand something. You can't ride in fifth gear like this. You got to ride in fifth gear like this, okay? It's tunnel vision. It's when nothing else around you matters. Woo, got to matter. And your life depends on your ability to keep looking ahead. A lot of people have crashed and burned. Matter of fact, in motorcycle lingo, they call it laying it down. A lot of people done had to lay the bike down. You know why? Because they looked at the wrong time and messed up. Listen, as a child of God, if you're going to meditate on this word, to meditate on it means that you got to focus on it. You got to have tunnel vision. You got to block out all this other noise and nonsense that you hearing on the news and every place else. And just say, Lord, I trust in you. Lord, I believe in you. Lord, I'm leaning on you. Lord, I'm waiting on you. Lord, I'm calling on you. Tunnel vision. And I got excited. I want to think anybody out there watching me right now. They got tunnel vision. You got to know how to meditate on the word. I pulled this because I wanted to run this off real fast. I think I got a few minutes. Let me tell you somebody's word. Make a note of this. In Job, you find out, in Job 23, you find out that his word is like food. 1 Peter 2:2 said his word is like milk for a baby. Hebrew 5 teaches you that his word is like meat for the growing one. Y'all ain't ready for me. Y'all ain't ready for me. John 6:15 lets you know that the word is like bread. Psalms 19 talks about how the word is like honey because it's so sweet. Watch this. Psalms 119:105 says the word is a light. John 17:17 says the word is truth. James 1:23 says the word is like a mirror. Because the more you look in it, it shows you your reflection. It shows you where you're strong at, where you're weak at. It shows you what you need to work on. Y'all ain't feeling me through here. Ephesians 5:25 said the word is like water. Because it'll cleanse you. Listen, y'all. It'll cleanse you. It'll rinse you. It'll wash your life. I don't care what people say about you and think about you. Listen to me. I'm being transparent. The more you get in his word, it washes you. It cleanses your conversation. It cleanses your revelation. It makes you clean up your situation. John 4:13 says the word quenches. Okay? It can quench. Okay, I'm getting it. Psalms 119 says that it refreshes. It refreshes you. 1 Peter 1:23 says the word is a seed. In other words, you ain't got to master Genesis through Revelations. Listen, if you just get enough of it, it'll grow. It'll grow in you. It'll start changing you step by step. See, we live in a world whereby everybody want it like this. They want it like that. You know, because we live in this microwave world. We live in a world whereby, now people want to be in the kitchen and cook, 3-minute meals and 5 minutes. No, let me tell you something. This word, each day, it makes you a little better than the day before. Each season makes you a little stronger than the season before. Each round gets higher and higher. Hebrews says, in Hebrews 4, it says the word is like a sword. Okay? How it cuts. Okay? Jeremiah says like a hammer. And Proverbs 16 said it can build you up. In Revelation, it talk about how the word can tear down. But I like Jeremiah 20. You all know where I'm going. I like when Jeremiah said, that's the preacher part of me right here. I like when Jeremiah said, it's just like fire. See, y'all looking at me. Let me tell you something. I don't play with God. I don't play with God. I don't play with preaching. I don't play with it. I fell in love with it. It fell in love with me. I'm not new to this. I'm true to this. God's word is like fire. It's shut up in your bones. Now, listen, if you don't feel it when you read it, if you don't feel it when you hear it, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. If you need to check where it's coming from, or you got to check where it's coming to. You see what I'm saying? Let's say it again. If you got to check where the word coming from, who it is you getting the word from, or you got to check who it's coming to. Because either something going on with you, or something going on with the word you get. Because if the person that's giving you the word is breaking it down right, and you are truly hungry, let me tell you something, my sisters and brothers. Woo! You'll be able to say just like Peter said on Mount Transfiguration. You'll say, hey, look, it's just good to be here. It's just good to be here. Because that word will make you rock when you want to sit still. It'll make you stand up when you want to sit down. It'll make you run when you thought you was just going to stand up. It's somebody there right now. In your house, in your kitchen, in your bedroom, in your living room, or wherever you might be, you listen to me. And you can identify that word, when you get it right, will not leave you. It will make you, the old saints say, it'll make you show some sign. You hear me? Okay, watch this. I got excited. I'm sorry. Y'all know how I am. Listen. All right. So I'm giving you the state of the believer. We talked about the strength of the believer, how it'll alter your affections, because it says his desire or his delight. It will arrest you. Your attention, because you meditate. But it also aligns your attitude. How do you know, Bishop? Because he says, not only do I meditate, but look at the tenure. Look at the duration. Look at the timeline. Come in, lean in. He said, I'm not making it up. But his delight is in the law of the Lord. And in his law doth I meditate. Okay? Watch this. Day and night. Listen. I'm not dating the word. I'm married to the word. It's day and night. I only think of it on 2 occasions. I think of it in day and night. God only keeps me in 2 zones. He keeps me all day and all night. I feel the preach wind blowing through here, blowing through here. Listen, it alters your attitude. You can't escape it. You become one with it day and night. It keeps me in the morning. It keeps me in the noonday. It keeps me in the evening. And it keeps me in the midnight hour. All right? So now, what did we learn? We learned that the strength of the believer is this. Listen. That it alters your affection, arrests your attention, and it will align your attitude. All right? Now, my sisters and brothers, verse 3, as we get ready to close, last verse, he says, and he shall be like a tree. All right? For all of y'all that paid attention in English class, when he says he shall be like a tree, that's what they call contrast and comparison. All right? He's assimilating. All right? The symbolism and the comparison and the attributes and the normacy of one object against another. Let me say this, because I just thought about it, being camera conscious. You all keep seeing me look to my right. I'm in my office, and this is my picture window. So I'm actually looking down my driveway. I'm looking outside. So every time I look this way, I'm actually looking up at the sky, because it's still pretty out. So I'm looking up toward the mountains from the hills, some winds coming in my head. So watch this. He compares us, the text has been tailored to teach us, that he compares us to a tree. Okay, do I still have time? I got my producers and different people here. All right. He compares us to a tree. And most folks don't know nothing about trees. And you've heard this text preached, taught, speculated, expounded, exegetically, vision. So many times. So we're going to take maybe a minute, 2 minutes top. I'm going to tell you about the tree. Then I'm going to close. I pulled this knowledge because I thought it was important. Based on scientific recordings, the tree has been considered in the top 10 of all of the oldest organisms in the world. The tree. Go back to the first week of civilization. You ready for this? In the first week of civilization, there was a tree. All right. There are over 23,000 different types of trees. Over 23,000 different types of trees. Make a note of that. There's over 5,000 products right now that are made from a tree. My desk came from a tree. The wood in this study, in this chamber, came from a tree. The stands that my eagles are sitting on came from a tree. The base that my eagle is on came from a tree. The flooring under my feet came from a tree. All right? All throughout the beams and the skeletal makeup of this house, this home, came from a tree. The paper that I'm reading off of came from a tree. Okay, all right. The tallest tree in the world, they say it was 364 feet. The tallest tree in the world was 364 feet. The largest tree in the world had a diameter of 200. All right? 200 feet round. Let me tell you about this tree. The average tree root can grow 2 to 3 times of whatever its height is. So if you find a tree that's 100 feet tall, you might trace a root that's 200 feet long. Okay, y'all slow. I'm hearing y'all in the spirit. And I know my wings of faith, I'm apologizing to the community of faith because I know y'all don't know that I'm spiritually silly and spiritual at the same time. Wings of faith, do me a favor, lean in. If the tree is 75 feet, the roots can be 150 to 225. If the tree is 100 feet, if the tree is 150 feet tall, that means that the roots can be 300 to 450 feet long. Okay, lean in. If the tree is 1 foot tall, that means that the root, lean in. If 50 feet tall, that means that the roots could be 700 to 1,050 feet long. Bishop, why you keep telling us this? Lean in. Because your roots got to be longer than your height. Ooh. See, everybody want to come up. No, baby, let me tell you something. The key is not just coming up, it's being able to go down. Because your roots is what's going to hold you when there's a pandemic. That's why so many people been uprooted and falling down because guess what? They had more height than they had root. Y'all ain't ready for me. See the world. The world is impressed by your reach. God is impressed by your root. Because when you rooted, demons can't shake you. When you're rooted, when you're rooted, you put it in God's hand and you put it in God's care. All right? Woo, okay, I gotta get out of this. I got to get out of this. There are two types of classification of trees. Deciduous, which is like your dogwoods, your oaks, stuff like that. Coniferous, which is like your pines, your firs, your spruces. All right. Now, this is important. Do I have time? Okay, I got about 15 minutes. Okay, this is important right here. I almost lost my mind in my studies when I got to this part right here. The tree, trying to think of the best way to say it. A tree, okay? I'm a tree, you're a tree with trees. When God made the tree, I'm pointing to again now, I'm at my picture window, my front window. I'm pointing to because my house is surrounded by trees. When God made the tree, he made the leaves to grow in the spring. He made the trunk to grow only in the summer. He made the leaves to change in the fall. Lean in. But he told the roots, you can only grow in the winter. Listen, this room ain't big enough. I'm about to run down the street. Lean in. Let me tell you again. Take this to work tomorrow. Well, no, I'm sorry, y'all ain't going to work. Put this on. Put this on. Text it to somebody. Put this on Facebook. Hit it. The tree leaves grows in the spring. That's when you're pretty. That's when everybody's pointing to you. Your trunk grow in the summer. That's when you blow up. You get large. You go through a transition. Leaves fade, change colors, right? In the fall. But the root of a tree only grows in the winter. Y'all slow. Listen. The winter is when things die. It's cold. It's contentious. It's conflicted. It is the pandemic seasons of our lives that make our roots grow. Do y'all know how much I've grown in these last 30 days? Just me and God, me and Jesus, me and this word all night and day. Hear me now. It is when your heart is broke. That's when your root grow. It's when tears run. That's when your roots grow. It's when you have to bury a mother or a father or a son or a daughter. That's when your roots grow. It's when your name is on the furlough list and you don't know how you're going to pay rent. It's when you got 3-4 kids and you don't know how you're going to get groceries. It's when they tell you that you got COVID and all the worst thoughts come, even though God's going to heal you. But that's when your roots grow. You know what? I got to get out of here. I got to get out of here. Tough times make Christians. Everybody talking about it's a crisis going on. A crisis is going to make you. Let me tell you something. A crisis really don't make you who you are. A crisis reveal who you are. The crisis reveal how deep your roots are. That's why some preachers are preaching and some not. Yeah, come on with it. Come on. See, crisis shows you who leaders are. It shows you their character, their conviction, their courage, their commitment. No, you don't know if you're a star in the kingdom. Listen, you don't know if you're a star in the kingdom and it hadn't got dark yet. He a star in the kingdom. Really? What has he done in dark time? Lean in. Anybody can show off and show out when you at the top of your game. Anybody can wave their hand to be seen when you're on the top of the mountain. But can you do it in the valley? Can you do it when tears are running? Can you do it when the wolves are howling? Can you do it when your spirit is hurting, can you do it? Lean in. Roots grow in the winter. Wintertime won't make you popular. Lean in. Lean in. The wintertime of your life won't make you popular. It makes you powerful. The wintertime don't make you popular. It makes you powerful. No. Listen. 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 When God made the tree, it is the one thing that God made, that he made the tree with this characteristic. A tree cannot produce more than it can bear. Y'all ain't ready for me. A tree cannot produce more than it can bear. There's a tree called evergreen. They call it evergreen because it's green forever. It's green in the spring, it's green in the winter. It's green in the summertime, it's green in the fall. It never changes. It always is who it is. Woo. Like a tree planted down by the river. Can I tell you something real quick as I get ready to close out? Do you know that the tree is the only organism in the world that has over 140,000 species that depends on it? I got to get out of here. I got to get out of here. I got to get out of here. What you talking about, Bishop? If you was to go around the world, I ain't talking about Atlanta. Lean in. I ain't talking about Chicago. I ain't talking about just Dallas, Alabama, New York, Baltimore, Jersey, all those other little, Virginia. I see y'all. I got you in the spirit. All right? If you go around the world, there's over 140,000 different kind of animals that depend on the tree. They live in the tree. They embed around the tree. They get shade from the tree. Sap, bark from the tree. They eat the leaves off the tree, the fruit from the tree. See, when you really get rooted in God, he'll have others depending on you. I gotta stay rooted. I'm somebody's shade. I gotta stay rooted. Because my word feeds somebody. I gotta stay rooted. Because I'm somebody's safe haven in a time of storm. That's why you got to stay rooted, because you don't ever know when God's going to have to use you to be the light to cast in somebody else's time of darkness. Well, my sisters and brothers, last thing I'm going to tell you is the success of the believer. Verse number 3. Says, he shall be like a tree planted by the rivers of the waters, bringing forth fruit in his own season. His leaf shall not wither, and whatsoever he doeth shall prosper. In the success of the believer, this is his prominence, is that God compares him to a tree. The author compares him to a tree. The tree is always able to be seen because of the height in which it stands. It gives it shade. It casts a shelter. The tree is a prominent organism. Not only that, but he's known, the tree is special because of his permanency. Trees are planted. Trees bend, but they don't bow. You got trees that are literally hundreds and hundreds of years old, and yet they're still standing. 1,000-year-old and still standing. Well, he's planted, that's what makes him permanent. What's profound is that it says he's planted down by the river. Why is that permanent? I mean, why is that so profound? I just told you, lean in. Because if he's down by the river, that means that his roots is running up under the river. That means that his root is continuously getting water. There's a term called exhalum. Exhalum is when the water goes from the root of the tree, through the trunk of the tree, to the limb of the tree, to produce the leaf on the tree, that it might birth the fruit of the tree. Lean in, lean in. Somebody right now is going through an excellent transition. God is getting water to your root. Okay, can I tell y'all one more thing? Can I tell you one more thing and then I'll finish? No, I'll tell you what. I'm sorry. Let me finish this. Let me finish this because I gotta go. It's not enough time. I just don't have enough time. I don't have enough time. Watch this. It's profound because he's at the water. They're bringing forth fruit. Okay, but now here's what's powerful. You're going to bring forth fruit. Listen to this, my sisters and brothers, as I leave y'all. So you all can stop being jealous and envious and judging people around you. You ready? You're going to bring forth fruit. In his season. You're not going to bring forth fruit in my season. I can't judge my season to your season. Just because you got fruit and I don't have fruit don't mean I'm going to be fruitless. It just means it ain't my season. So you don't have to be envious and jealous of nobody. You're going to have your season at a different time. You know what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? Some of us going to be all that at one time. Some of us going to be all that at different time. Somebody is going to peak early. Somebody going to peak late. But God has designed, there's a word in the Greek called auturio. God has designed a set tenure of time for you to be whatever it is God will have you to be. So you don't have to be jealous and envious of nobody. Just wait on your season. All right? Then I'm finna close. His leaf shall not wither. Here's a promissory note. God says if your roots stay near the water, I promise you this. Not only will you produce fruit in your season, he says, but you won't wither, and whatsoever you do shall prosper. Now, I want to say this to you. I left out something about the tree. Because some of y'all are trying to figure out why your life feels so different. Why your life looks so different. Why your friend circle is so different. Why people treating you so different. Why your conversation is different. Why your perception is different. Why is it that things that used to make you happy now make you sad, and things that used to give you pleasure now irritate you? Places you used to go, you don't want to go no more. Things you do, you don't do no more. On this tree, right? When I was studying the tree, it blew me away to know this. That God gave the tree a protective measure. I'm going to let you go. I'm in my house. I'm going to let you go. I'm tipsy in the spirit right now. So I'm getting ready to get up and walk under the influence. Because I feel God all over me from the crown of my head to the sole of my feet. Listen to me, lean in, and I'm done. Lean in. When God made the tree, he gave the tree a protective mechanism, a protective characteristic trait. It's called the bark. The bark. When God put the bark on the bark was not the wood of the tree, the source of the tree. It is not the substance of the tree. It's not what makes the tree awesome. People, I mean, they use it for different stuff, but that's not the essence of the tree. The tree is up under the bark. What makes the tree, what gives the tree its worth, cannot be seen with a natural eye. It's under the bark. Yeah, see, it's not what they see. It's not your coat. It's not your dress. It's not your suit. It's not the texture of your hair. It's not the fluctuation of your muscles. It's not your it's not your figure. It's not the color of your eyes. That's not what makes it. Listen, that's not your worth. That ain't your worth. That's the vanity of man. That ain't the value of man. That's what's going to pass away. That's what's going to fade. That's what's going to wrinkle. That's what's going to thin out. Stay with me. Stay with me now. Lean in. Lean in. Lean in. Lean in. Let me tell you something. But he gave the tree a bark to protect the wood. But there's three things that the tree had to realize. That there's 3 times a year or 3 times in a season when a tree bark will automatically crack. It's going to look different 3 times. It looks different in the dead of winter. If it gets too cold, 20, 10 degrees, snow, whatever. If it gets too cold, it can crack the bark. Lean in. If it gets too hot, between July and August, it can crack the bark. 95, 98, 102, whatever, different place in the country. Get too hot. But here's the one I like, the third one. It don't matter if it's hot. It don't matter if it's cold. The most prolific time that the tree bark will crack is when the tree begins growing again. And there's somebody right now, your friends say you don't look the same. You don't act the same. Baby, it ain't cause you're hot. It ain't cause you're cold. Bruh, man, it's cause you're growing. And when you growing, where they want to go, you don't want to go. And what they want to do, you don't want to do. And what they want to watch, you don't want to watch. And what they want to laugh about, you don't think funny. And when they want to gossip and dog out and talk about people, you got to leave. Why? You ain't tripping, you cracking. Let me get up out of here. Let me get up out of here. I'm so glad I'm in my own house because I'm getting loud. Listen, look at somebody in your house and tell them, say, I ain't tripping, I'm cracking. And I'm cracking because I'm growing. I'm growing. And so because I'm growing, what's on the inside, watch this, is affecting what's on the outside. Y'all missed it. Y'all missed it. What's on the inside of me is telling what's on the outside of me, you got to make room. You got to make room because guess what? As I grow, guess what? I cannot go back to where I was. Wherever I grow to is where I am. But I cannot go back to where I came from. So you know what happens then? Then the tree has to produce some new bark. Because that tree is never going to go back to being small or little or normal or average again. Wings of Faith, Faith Community. This has been an inspirational hour with the Bishop, Dreyfus Cortez Smith. I'm coming to you from my house to your house. I'm coming to you from one child of God to another child of God. And I'm encouraging you right now to not only stay committed, keep your courage, keep your conviction, but stay connected to me. And let me stay connected with you. If the word of God bless you tonight, the Lord laid upon your heart that this has been a blessing. If you feel like you planted, you ready to be planted, you know that you're not going to be moved. I hear my God, Sister Cindy in the spirit singing that song, shall not be moved, come through the storm and the rain, through the hurt and the pain, but I shall not be moved. I'll be like a tree planted down by the rivers of water, and I shall not be moved. I've tried to be a blessing to you. I hope that the Lord will lay it upon your heart for you to be a blessing to us here at Wings of Faith. There's a couple ways you can give. You can give by going on our website, WOFATL.com. WOF, Wings of Faith, ATL, okay, .com, all right? Or you can go on GiveLify. You can go on GiveLify and donate that way. Also, you can mail your checks to Wings of Faith, P.O. Box 425, Conley, Georgia. 425 Conley, Georgia. 30288. And I welcome and I thank you for any and all donations, large or small. Listen, I want to give a shout out. So all those of y'all that know how to reach her, I don't want to give her information out. But for those of y'all that already have it and that know you can reach her, do me a favor for me. Hit my daughter up. Her name is Diamond My Joy Smith. Diamond My Joy Smith. Diamond My Joy, my daughter. We probably, I don't know if you could see her. I grabbed one of these pictures behind me. This is my little brat. She's a daddy's girl. Hey, everybody. All right. She's going to be mad because I did that. Okay, look. And she's turning 23 years old on tomorrow. She's turning 23 years old on tomorrow. Can you believe I'm that old? Good God Almighty. I know, right? 23 years old on tomorrow. Now, listen. Believe it or not, I haven't really had a major celebration in 23 years. You know why? Because my daughter turns 23 on April 22nd, all right, which is tomorrow. Yeah. I turn 33 on April 24th, which is Friday. So it's always about her. Always been about her. And I guess as long as I live, it'll always be about her. But y'all give her a shout out if you can. Diamond My Joy. And let her know her daddy loves her. She was just over here a few minutes ago. Had just walked out the door a few minutes before we started. So let her know happy life, happy birthday. So proud of her. I pray God will continue to favor her, feature her, and be faithful to her. Friday, send up a prayer for me. Another year, the Lord would have allowed me to be here. And I'm grateful and I'm thankful for all that he's done and all that he's doing. Hey, listen. You be good to God. And God will be good to you. All right? Thank God for you. Oh, listen, I'm going to be talking to you all Sunday because I don't think I have enough time. If I had 2 or 3 minutes, do I have 2 or 3 minutes? I'm trying to get a signal. I got 1 minute? Okay, so tune in Sunday so I can let you all know because everybody's calling about can we come back to church and I don't know if our government has our best interest right now. So I'm not too excited about that. I'll let you know on Sunday what we're going to do. We're not going to have the doors open on this Sunday, but I'll let you know when I think it's going to be safe for us to come back. All right? Love you much. Hit me up. Let me know. Be good to God. God be good to you. Peace. Mwah.